everyone. John Gonzalez here from MLive.com, and you are listening to The Going Gonzo Show, which you can hear exclusively on MLive.com and our Facebook page, Facebook.com. Search for Going Gonzo Show. All right, now let's get to the show. Hello, everyone. It is Tuesday. Got to think of the day of the week here. Tuesday, January 21st, 2014. Thanks for joining today's podcast, which you can find, as I said earlier, on MLive.com and, of course, the Going Gonzo Facebook page, Going Gonzo, Facebook.com. Search for Going Gonzo Show. Judy, our producer, is in with us today. How you doing, Judy?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. We got a busy show today. Comedian, musician, actor Jeff Daniels will be joining us in an interview from somewhere, I think, in the state. I think he's in the state. We'll ask him about that. And are you a big Jeff Daniels fan? Go ahead and sneeze if you have to.
I'm like waiting to, but I'll try to keep it in. No, yeah, I am, definitely. I mean, who isn't? Isn't he from Michigan?
He's from Michigan. Well, you're going to find out all about Jeff Daniels and his Michigan connection. He's got a movie coming out, too, later this year, Dumb and Dumber 2.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone's so excited about this. It's going to be all the guys come back together 20 years later, and can't wait for the movie. We'll ask him about that as well. And he's also a Chippewa. So I went to Central Michigan University. I went to Central Michigan University. I worked on the campus newspaper, CM Live. So I can't wait to see what he has to say about those old college days.
Oh, God.
I don't think he graduated from there, though.
I don't think so either.
I don't. Well, so maybe he'll talk about that. I had a busy breakfast this morning. Yeah, well, I had oatmeal, and that's kind of my plan, by the way. If you if you haven't heard, for 2014, my goal is to lose 20 pounds by my first Michigan's Best Search in mid-March, and the second goal is to run 25Ks in 2014. You're going to do the Groundhog Marathon on February 2nd, so you're a little ahead in your running schedule. I think you got how many miles do you have to do today?
20.
20 miles. I don't know if I'll ever get to 20 miles, but good luck.
I'm like already sweating right now for it. I'm like nervous.
That's going to be taking like, what, 3 hours of your life?
It's going to take 3 hours and like 15 minutes out of my life to run this. Well, not 15 minutes, but like 3 hours and like 10 minutes.
That's a big chunk of time. Well, good luck on your run. I've been at it, and I have, well, as I said, I got up this morning. I ate my oatmeal, which I'm having oatmeal for breakfast and some fruit. But I had breakfast with my buddy Rich McKeegan, the general manager out at SMG, who manages all the downtown facilities, the major ones, including Van Andel Arena, DeVos Place, DeVos Performance Hall.
Wow.
Got a couple good insider tips I really can't tell you about.
Ooh.
But I will say this. That, boy, I guess I already divulged my source, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Well, he kind of told me, kind of off the record, a couple things they have planned. If you like, let me see here. If you like, what's the best way to put it without getting myself and Rich into trouble? If you like 80s rock,
okay,
big show going to be announced fairly soon.
Ooh.
If you like to see someone that performed at Meyer Gardens not too long ago, another big show about to be announced. So look for some big concerts coming up in 2014 to go along with the Bruno Mars, the Jason Aldeans, the ones that I've already, the Katy Perry, all these big concerts. So look, 2014 looking to be a big year at Van Andel Arena. Then, of course, a little later in the show, after the Jeff Daniels interview, we'll give you those entertainment headlines that you know and love. All right, Judy, well, we got to get going here because I think Mr. Daniels is about to call us. Anything else you want to say to listeners? Because they've tweeted me and said stuff about asking about how you're doing. How you been fine?
I've been good. I mean, still looking for the man in my life.
I didn't want to ask.
No, I'm good. I'm excited about the future. I don't know.
You've been very philosophical on your Facebook post. I'm like,
I
is she
know.
okay?
Yeah.
Don't let the world get you down. Or I don't know. What it was, something like that.
I don't know what it was. No, I was, when you listen to other like motivational speakers or whatever, and you just get all excited and you're like, oh, that's me right now. I'm like, oh, I listen to somebody. I'm like, oh, I got to write that. I got to tweet that. I got to Facebook post that. I don't know.
Good.
That's just me.
Well, no, I'm glad that you are finding some inspiration because you need motivation and inspiration. If you're going to do a marathon, That's
yeah.
26.2 miles. That's a long way.
My dad is still like, so are you still doing this marathon? And I was like, yep, running 20 tomorrow. He still doesn't think I can do it, I think.
All right, well, we're going to take off here. If you're listening to the full podcast, we'll have Jeff Daniels right around the corner. If not, just go to Facebook.com, search for Going Gonzo Show or MLive.com. I got a lot of stuff happening there, and we'll fill you in on what's going on. Thanks, everyone. And as I said, coming up next, Jeff Daniels. All right, so where are you at right now, Mr. Daniels?
I'm in Michigan.
Beautiful Michigan. Wow.
Yeah, I think the wind chill's going to be 25 below or something. Can't wait. Bring it on.
Boy, do you remember a winter like this in a long time? I mean, I just can't remember.
I don't remember 25 below. I remember 22 inches of snow in high school in the 70s, and but I don't remember this kind of wind chill, no.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't like it. Maybe I've been a Michigan person my whole life like yourself. And I thought I would probably, work here, retire from here. But now the sunny sun, the Florida, California is sounding pretty good.
Well, shooting newsroom, usually last 2 seasons we've been in California from November to June, and I've kind of embraced that California winter, which is, oh my God, it's 55, it's chilly. So I'm trying my best to ignore the fact that it's bone chilling cold here.
What's the trick?
What's the trick? Beats the alternative. The alternative could be you're dead. Then it doesn't matter. I just look. Today's today, and it's 25 below. So, try not to be outside and find some things to do inside. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I like it. Hey, you have a string of shows that this Michigan tour, but you're going to be everywhere: Traverse City, Bay City, Kalamazoo, Fremont, Mount Pleasant, Monroe. Ann Arbor, where aren't you going?
Yeah, we're at Chelsea. I'm not going. I just played Chelsea. That's at the Purple Rose. Yeah. I enjoy running around Michigan, and they've got some great venues here. A couple of opera houses, and I just enjoy it. And it's kind of I get to pull out some of the Michigan songs, and I just enjoy walking out with a guitar and entertaining people. And I had some time before Newsroom starts up again, so we booked some shows.
Well, that's fantastic. I know that you've done some interviews with our sister publications. I saw the interview with John Liberty at the Kalamazoo Gazette and also the Bay City Times, and we thank you so much for offering and giving of your time for that. But, they did a great job of kind of, covering those things that everyone knows about, which is Dumb and Dumber 2, the Newsroom and so forth. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this love affair you have with Michigan, because you could live anywhere, really, as an actor.
Yeah, and it's interesting. In 1986, Kathleen and I moved back here. We had a 2-year-old son at the time and ended up having a couple more kids. They're all in their 20s now, but it was home. And she had family here. I have family here, and I knew I was going to be on the road a lot. And I just felt that it was a great place to raise our kids. Kathleen and I had both been raised here, so good enough for us, good enough for them. I knew we'd get a heavy dose of L.A. and New York, and it turned out London. We got to go to London to shoot 101 Dalmatians and took the kids. So I knew we were going to see the world a little bit, and it was just a great home base. And I honestly didn't think the career would last. And so...
Really?
No, it does. They just don't.
Yeah.
We're all, Tuesday, you call your agent and he goes, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're over. You just,
right.
So you keep waiting for that call, but it just, when it's over, why don't we just be home? And so there was a little bit of that, little fatalistic approach to the career, but it's just always been home, and we've enjoyed it. And I remember when I moved, there weren't that many. I could think of Redford was in Sundance. Sissy Spacek was in Virginia, I think, and maybe Tommy Lee Jones is in Texas. It wasn't popular to live somewhere else, and now we're all over the place. Actors are everywhere, and it's okay to be from anywhere and live anywhere, and you still go to wherever you're going to shoot the movie or TV show. But I kind of was, one of those early, creative pioneers.
Well, I tell you what, in Michigan, I give my hats off to you because, you were a pretty young guy at the time. You could have been kind of soaked up in the whole, L.A., New York culture and just said, you know what, this is part of the game.
I was brought up right, not only by parents, but also in New York at the Circle Repertory Company. Marshall W. Mason and Lanford Wilson in particular, they really taught me what it means to be an artist and an actor, not a star. Be the best actor you can be. Attack it, as an artist, as someone who's serious about his craft. All of those lessons. So when you go to Hollywood and you butt up against people that don't have those, where it's about the glamour and about the fame, and they literally, they're talking to you, but they're looking past you to find someone who might be able to get them, something that they don't have at those parties. I just rebelled against it and was never into it, never bought it. When it did happen, like in ways like Dumb and Dumber in terms of endearment, I was always standing next to someone else who went further, whether it was Jim Carrey or the megastars of terms of endearment. I was never the guy. So I was kind of along for the ride but didn't get sucked up in it. And frankly, again, didn't think it would last. Was very aware that careers go up and down, and right now it's up, but eventually it'll be down, so stay neutral. And Michigan helped that. And it served me well because I'm still around decades later.
You sure are. And, speaking of of your experience in Hollywood, your early experiences, the first time I was there, I went to some director's house. We had dinner there, and everyone around the table was talking about the business, and I felt like I was in a different world. Like, it just felt like they're having conversations that we just don't have in Michigan,
Yeah, you can take it seriously, and and it depends who you're sitting with. But coming from Michigan and going to Hollywood, every time I walked on Warner Brothers lot or Sunset Gower Studios where we shoot Newsroom, you see the history. You see that in Soundstage 7, where we shoot Newsroom, they shot Pal Joey. They shot Bridge over River Kwai. Things like that. Mm-hmm. I love the history of it. And you're the thrill of that. Where if I lived there, I was afraid that I'd just fall into the factory town and the business of it, and I'd lose some of that. And in Michigan, a movie is something you go to on Saturday night. In L.A., it's something else. And so I never lost the fact that this is something that we hope people want to see, on a Saturday night. And I've never lost that.
Now, you mentioned Marshall W. Mason. I know you were a student at Central Michigan University. Go Chippewas. I'm a Chippewa myself. But it was during that time when you met him, and he kind of helped you get your break, right?
Oh, without Marshall W. Mason, I don't have a career, because he saw me. I was at Central Michigan University. I was doing well in their theater department, getting a lot of great roles, and I read the CM Life newspaper.
Yay!
That morning in the library. Instead of studying, I'm looking at the CM Life paper, and it says auditions at Eastern Michigan University for a 4-play rep festival this coming spring. 1976. So I said, why not? Let's go see how I stack up against kids from around the state. Went down, auditioned. Long story short, got the lead in 2 of the 4 plays. One in particular was directed by this guy from New York who was coming out as a favor to Jim Gussup, the head of the theater department at the time, picking up a check and directed some college kids before he went back to New York. And it was Marshall W. Mason. And it was the lead in Summer and Smoke. And before the first performance, he took me out and he said, well, you know what you should do with your life, don't you? And he convinced me, my choice, to come to New York, skip the center, drop out of Central with a year to go, come to New York, join Circle Repertory Company, become an apprentice, an actor there, a resident of the company. and start your career. And that's what I did. But Marshall found me. Otherwise, I drive to New York. Maybe I get the breaks. Maybe